Why do those called for a greater purpose face such an intense battle against sexual immorality? This is a spiritual conflict that many avoid addressing, but it is more common than it seems. The reasons behind this struggle are surprising, and if you feel trapped in this silent battle, know that you are not alone. The Bible offers us clear answers about this hidden fight. Let's explore the truth behind this spiritual challenge. Throughout the scriptures, we see that some of the most anointed figures faced devastating temptations. King David, a man after God's own heart, gave in to the desire for Bathsheba. Samson, chosen from the womb for a great mission, had his destiny compromised by his weakness before Delilah. And this pattern repeats itself even today. Those called by God continue to be targets of such attacks. But what makes this struggle so fierce for those with a great calling? It is not just about human weakness. It is a spiritual battle, and the enemy knows exactly who to target. The Bible warns us about this danger. Flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a person commits are outside the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their own body. Sexual sin is not a fleeting temptation. It is a spiritual trap, especially against those with a divine purpose. The enemy knows that if he can lead someone down this path, he can weaken their mission and draw them away from God's presence. But why is this battle so intense? Here are some surprising reasons. First reason, spiritual sensitivity increases the intensity of the temptation. Those with a special calling often have a sharper perception, both of the spiritual world and the enemy's traps. Sexual sin is one of the most effective weapons to distract and weaken those set apart for something greater. For this reason, the chosen ones often face more intense temptations because the enemy knows that if he can ensnare them, he can delay or even prevent their spiritual growth. Second reason, isolation makes the struggle harder. Those called by God often walk alone. This isolation can be a time of growth, but it also opens doors for spiritual attacks. Without a solid support network or deep spiritual relationships, sexual immorality becomes a silent and solitary battle. The more hidden the struggle, the harder it becomes to overcome. Third reason, a great calling attracts relentless attacks. The greater the purpose, the more intense the spiritual warfare. Sexual sin is not just a human weakness, but a planned strategy to keep the chosen ones distracted, weakened, and distant from God. Many spiritual leaders, prophets, and men of God throughout history have fallen because they underestimated this battle. The enemy knows that even the strongest can be brought down when they give in to the weakness of the flesh. Fourth reason, emotional wounds create openings for sin. Many of the chosen carry deep scars of rejection, abandonment, and past pain. These unhealed wounds can become open doors for temptations. When someone is emotionally vulnerable, sexual sin appears as an illusion of relief, a momentary escape that only deepens the problem. Without inner healing, this vicious cycle repeats itself, generating guilt, shame, and a progressive distance from God. Fifth reason, great spiritual gifts require greater self-control. Being called by God does not mean being exempt from the weaknesses of the flesh. Those with powerful spiritual gifts still need to fight against temptations like anyone else. And without spiritual discipline, prayer, fasting, and mind renewal, the battle against immorality intensifies. The greater the anointing on someone's life, the greater their vigilance and commitment to holiness must be. How to overcome this battle? Sexual immorality is a silent war that many face, but victory is possible with spiritual discipline, healthy relationships, and a real commitment to God. Those called can overcome this struggle and remain firm in their divine purpose. The enemy wants to trap the chosen, but the power of God will always be greater. The big question is, will you fight or will you fall? If this message has touched you, subscribe to the Messiah Word channel and follow more reflections that will strengthen your spiritual walk.